to 9, it's Tingle and Co. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like big folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co. What up, Lloyd? What up, Lloyd? You can call me him. I'm Shay Dixon in the whip with them RPMs. Gotta pull up to the chat and shit out to them. Not trying to ball like big folk, then get out the gym. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. When you see that notification, we about to go live. Hit this track and do you dance like you Karen Lacey. Run it back and turn Matthew to the house, baby. It's Tingle and Co. From 7 to 9. Come keep with the show. It's a new era. Let's get it, let's go. From 7 to 9. It's Tingle and Co.
All right.
Let's go.
Good morning and welcome back as Tingle & Co. has arrived in Baton Rouge. This is the first time I have laid eyes on Lloyd since, I think, Monday at 6 p.m. And it is now Thursday morning at 7:16 a.m.
Did you miss me?
Some parts. It was a lot of travel the last couple of
You got
days.
Christian, though.
I did have Christian. I had to take care of that young man. I did feel bad for him at one point. We had a connection between Kansas City to Charlotte and then Charlotte to New Orleans. And so in Charlotte, we landed at, what was it, like 8:16. And the boarding for our flight from Charlotte to New Orleans was 8:23. And we had to get from gate A6 to gate C19.
Oh, God.
And I was sitting in the front of the plane. Christian was maybe on the last row. That's at least what it felt like when I was standing there waiting for him to get off of the plane. And he was texting me, "Are we going to make it?" I was like, "What do you mean we? I'm out here. You're still on the plane." And
100% expects you to wait for him. Like, we're both missing it.
so
if
I
you're
was
missing
waiting
it.
for him. And we finally start to walk, and he's behind me the whole time. Well, I'm like moving, like humming, because I'm like, we need to get on this plane. And I turn around, I do not see him. Like, I have no idea where he's at. So I scan my ticket, I'm getting on the plane.
No.
And I'm like, "Where are you?" He's like, "I'm here." I was like, "I don't think you are." I was like, "There's not a line for our gate. So if you're in a line right now, you're at the wrong gate." And he was like, "Okay." And then we start inching towards the plane. I turn around and I see him. He's like, I was like, "Thank God."
Buddy.
It was stressful. It was like having a child in the airport.
Oh.
But even though he's like, he's
Shrink those.
he's a 20-year-old, like he should be able to handle himself. I had a child, but we made it. We arrived.
I'm sure you're surprised that I made it through the airport alone.
Yeah, and with everything. Like, had all your stuff that you had to carry. You had your bags. You had the Starlink. You had all of it.
Had to check it. That was unfortunate.
I know. I figured that was going to
extra
happen.
$15.
Yep. But I am
And then I
happy
had
that
to
you made it
look
back.
up what happens to a checked bag whenever you have a connecting flight, because I actually didn't know. They sent it straight to where you're going.
Yeah.
So I waited through the merry-go-round, came out.
Starlink.
So like, oh, that's the one right there.
See, that's the last thing I like to happen is I hate a check bag. Like, I like to have all my stuff.
Oh,
on
I
the
know you
plane
hate a
with
check bag because I checked a bag.
Not me.
Hey, it's the least I could do.
Hey, I got the rest of the stuff home. I went and picked it up yesterday from our friends over at CAS. Brought our equipment back with us. Had it in their office. Had to swing by the CAS office yesterday morning and picked it up. So glad to be back. Good to see all of you in the chat once again. Glad we all made it home safe and sound. Lloyd, I'm glad to see your face. I'm glad you made it back safely. I know it was a lot of travel alone. I am sorry we left you alone Monday night and all of Tuesday. Were you able to stay in the Airbnb on Tuesday to pass the time?
Yes.
Good. I'm glad.
Shout out to not a sponsor of ours, but a sponsor of many. Potential sponsor.
Uh-huh.
Bocock Brothers.
Yes.
Cigars. The rest of them that I did not pass out, I gave to that
Is he
man.
a cigar guy? So, like, it works?
I have no clue.
Okay.
But that's what I promised in my text.
There you go. Good
And
job.
so I left him the box signed by Jay Johnson. There's one of them around here somewhere, but it's the penny box, pinstripe signed by Jay Johnson, and I made sure it definitely seemed like it was signed by Jay Johnson.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, give me about 3 hours, and we'll call it all square. He's like, oh, more than welcome. Could have been cooler.
That's awesome. Well, that's
So-
good. I'm glad. Because if you didn't know, me and Christian
Because I couldn't travel with it anyway.
flew out of Kansas City. So we were in Omaha. We had to somehow get to Kansas City for a flight at 5 a.m. The plan was to rent a car, a one-way rental. It was a great plan. Like I finally
plan.
It's a great plan. Finally felt like I put together a plan that was going to work.
You popped into my room, and you're like, so here's the deal.
Right.
And I was like, I'm not interested in any of this.
And I understood.
Yeah.
But we were able to save money. It was a cheap flight from Kansas City to New Orleans. It saved us money. We were just going to do a one-way car rental, pick it up at the Omaha airport, drop it off at the Kansas City airport. It was going to work out perfectly. We get to the airport, and they said I could rent it at 23. That ended up not working.
Little did they know that you're older than I am.
And so then I called my 33-year-old roommate partner and was like, because the guy was like, look, if you can get your guy here, it'll work out. We get Lloyd there finally, and we end up having to go to a different lady at the kiosk, and she was nowhere
got
near
line fucked.
as helpful as my gentleman that was helping me out talking about Tyrese Halliburton's Achilles injury prior. Somehow the general
y'all made
manager,
some headway.
yeah, dude, we were friends. This was gonna work if we got back with our guy in line. I'm telling you. His general manager ends up coming out and like blocking off our ability to rent a car, and so I'm pissed because I'm like, how are we gonna get to Kansas City?
I had no clue.
For 5 a.m.
We should have gotten back in line and talked to him.
Well, Christian did, and
Well,
he
that's
said,
not what I'm talking about.
well, he said that the general manager was like not allowing him to really help. And so we get back home. I'm mapping out. I've got on a piece of paper. I'm like, this is how much it would cost to get on a Greyhound. This is how much an Uber would cost. We end up just shooting the shot. Hey, Uber, anyone want to make the 2.5 hour trek from Omaha to Kansas City to drop us off at the airport? One lady picks it up. She ends up dropping it. Then another guy picks it up. He drops it. Another guy picks it up. He drops it. Finally, our guy Gregory steps up. We open up the trunk, put our bags in there. He's like, where am I taking y'all? And I was like, Kansas City Airport. He said, really? I was like, yeah. I was like, how do you not know that? You picked up the Uber.
The ride.
I was like, brother, you know where you're going. He was like, oh, man, I see the price and say, yeah. I was like, well, buddy, you're taking us to Kansas City. And he goes, all right, well, let me call the wife. And he goes, we're sitting in the back of the car, and he goes, hey, Siri, call love of my life, sweetheart, something like that, dude. It was unbelievable. And Siri goes, calling love of my life, sweetheart, only mine.
Shrink.
And then it picks up, and she goes, hey, honey. He's like, headed to Kansas City.
You need anything?
She was like, actually? All right, well, drive safe. He's like, yep, I will. And it was the unbelievable, right? He's a great driver. The drive itself was great. He wanted to talk entirely too much. Had a lot of takes. Christian decided that he was going to go to sleep So Christian falls asleep, so it's just me and this
Were
guy.
you in the front seat or the back seat?
The back seat.
And he was.
Yeah, and Christian
one of
goes.
these?
No. He was just looking at me through the mirror. And so Christian's sleeping. And so it's just me having a hold up conversation with this guy. But then I did let him know that Christian had never been to Hooters. This guy, big Hooters fan, found out. He said he goes every day, the multiple different Hooters. And he was like, I actually just went to Hooters before this. I was like, well, my
In
young
the morning?
Yeah. My young friend here next to me's never been. So Christian finally wakes up and he goes, heard he never been to Hooters. Dude, it was unreal. Made a pit stop to fill up on gas.
At Hooters?
No.
On milk?
At some random gas station on the way to Kansas City. Finally drops us off at the airport. It was unreal. And then me and Christian decide instead of sleeping in the airport, we're going to rent a room at the Days Inn for one night. Days Inn was nice. Wasn't as bad as the Wood Spring Suites. And our guy working the front desk at the Days Inn also drove the shuttle from the Days Inn to the airport at 3 a.m. Then we began our trek.
Do you want to know what happened to me without you?
What happened to you without me?
So my flight was at 5:40 p.m.
Right.
I woke up at 4:40 a.m. Thought it was p.m. There's no clocks in the Airbnb where we stayed.
Or air conditioning.
Or yeah. So I woke up in a daze and it had rained the entire day. So I was like, it looks like day or night. And then I was like, oh shit, I gotta get going. And so call an Uber, get all of the stuff packed. Like, you know how I roll. Like, it's either 100 miles an hour or 0.
Yeah.
And so it was 100. Uber gets there. I have all of the stuff, like one fell swoop. And he goes, good morning. I go, what the fuck did you just say to me? Like, good morning. I was like, oh, you can leave, brother. I got 12 more hours.
So you just paid for that Uber. You just
I
sent him on his
canceled
way.
it.
Oh, nice.
Gave him $10 cash. I was like, I'm so sorry. He's like, I was driving anyway.
Oh, my
But
word.
I thought it was like, no way I'm going to miss this flight. So was so ready. Like, got in, and he's like, good morning. I was like, that's the only that's the only way I knew. I would have gotten in the car.
You would have gone to the airport.
And gone to the airport.
12 hours before
early,
your flight.
Like a Noah. But
I've never been that early.
He said good morning. I go, what the fuck did you just say to me?
That's unbelievable.
I was like, thank God.
Lord have
See ya.
mercy. Well, I'm glad that I'm glad he said good morning and you didn't end up at the airport.
That's the only recognition of time I had.
Yeah. Wow. Well,
So
we all made it home.
Went back to bed.
You can believe in miracles. We all made it home.
Yes!
From Omaha, which was a great trip all in all. Appreciate all of you for making it possible. Glad we made it back. Everyone's back in one piece. I talked to Christian on the phone last night. He's all good and alive.
I don't care.
And
I talked to Jonathan Kinfolk.
not
very
good.
scared.
Yep. Which still doesn't know he got the YouTube account banned, so we will let him know that when he comes in
Live
morning.
tomorrow.
We will let him know. But me and Christian are walking out of the New Orleans airport. I see my dad on this end. He's on the phone with his mom. We kind of walked several ways. We just turned back and we went, just a quick wave, and we were on our way. Then he texted me and he said, Mom won't take me to get lunch. Shrink. And so I sent him a picture of my Chick-fil-A on the way back. But
You know what? Some Barrett's barley corn?
a great trip.
I finally had it. It was delicious.
It was outstanding. That was the best Reuben sandwich I've ever had. It was the best sandwich I've ever had in my life. It was the best food we had in Omaha
That's truly
on
cute.
the last day. Seville, we need to send y'all on the road often, buddy. We're going on the road again in August.
It'll feel like tomorrow.
We've got the Clemson trip ready. We're beginning the planning on that right now
I've got the Starlink.
because Omaha happened very fast, and the
Very
plans
fast.
we planned for it so well. The first leg of the trip, the party box part of the trip, was planned for. It was whenever we decided, you know what, we're going to actually stay. Everything kind of started to go haywire. We're planning for Clemson now, so we'll be on the road again very soon.
Bayou bunghole. It was so hot in Omaha, I farted and thought I sharted, but ended up just blowing booty sweat off my butt. Shout out.
It was hot, and then it was hot last night as LSU baseball celebrated their 8th national championship last night in Alec Box. I did show up, saw Carl the Cat there. Shout out to my guy. He said, what'd he say? Nice to see you last night. No, it was great to see you, Carl. It was nice. He was concerned. He was like, I saw Lloyd's back. And I was like, yeah, I still have not seen it with my own 2 eyes, so I'm not fully bought in that he has returned.
I
But
was in a suite.
Nice, good for you.
Thank you.
But it was nice to see Carl. And it was nice to see, there was a handful of people that came up and shook my hand and said hello.
Just shake my hand.
I'm going to shake your hand. It was very nice.
Speaking of shaking hands.
To see everybody.
Shout out Tom Granning.
Shout
in
out
the
Tommy
chat.
G.
TG.
Our guy.
I've got all of your stuff.
Yeah, it will be returned, though, we promise.
Or not.
I tell you what, he always reaches out when we're not
He's
on the air.
literally like, I feel like his child.
No, I'm so glad we need that.
I know. Well, if you say it, then it's true.
Yeah, no, I'm very glad. He always reaches out when we're not on the air. You fellas good. Because
are you okay?
It's very nice. Because I realized yesterday during the day, I was like, we haven't done a show this week.
We had no way to do it.
I know. Like we had the
Pierce
post game on Sunday, and then Monday we were getting ready. Me and Christian were getting ready to leave, trying to figure out the rental car situation. No show on Monday. Tuesday we were in the airport. Lloyd was still in Omaha. No show then. Yesterday morning, Lloyd was still returning from Omaha. No show then. Here we are on Thursday. Glad to see all of you guys in the chat.
Did get Mikey on the air yesterday.
You did. But
also, no credit to me, but all-time not panic move by waiting to book the flight the day before.
Great job.
All-time move by you to try to do it early. Sometimes it works out to just don't try too hard.
Yeah, no, it still worked out for me as well. I'm still here, and it was a cheap flight, so it just
mine was $1,200.
No, but so those flights on Monday, and I guess probably the earlier half of Tuesday, earlier that weekend, out of Omaha
there were some that
$800. Like,
you really want to go home?
Unbelievable.
It's like, no, I'll be a citizen of Omaha.
Yeah, for $800 a flight.
A lot of nice people.
No, it's a great place. Great place. And it was nice to see all the LSU fans packing out Alec Box last night celebrating number 8 as you had all the players get, announced on their way out. There were cheers. Braswell obviously was the last player to get announced because they went in lineup order. And so he was obviously the 9-hole hitter. So when Braswell got announced, it was echoing through Alec Box, the cheers for him. And then Jay Johnson got announced, and it was about as loud as I think I've ever heard that place ever. And you had some nice introductions from different people.
Daddy?
And it was an awesome night. It was awesome. And shout out to the guy who just handed me a wristband to go sit in a section that was wide open. I was like, this is definitely a reserved section. So we were standing behind it. He brings me a wristband to go sit down in it. Shout out to that gentleman giving me a spot to sit so I didn't have to do standing room.
And if you want to celebrate the 2025 National Championship, go to obviousshirts.com.
Check that
where
out.
you can get the newest, latest, and greatest T-shirt of your 2025
God, it looks
LSU
good
National
when it's
Champions.
even like that.
Yeah.
It's really going to suck when 2026 gets put on there and it's uneven again.
And then, well, it's not because 2027 is right behind it.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
But
because that was literally a tweet back at my tweet of the shirt, like the link to buy it. Somebody was like, "Well, it's going to be old so soon. Like it's going to get ruined."
That's a lot of space up there.
And they had the new Intimidator up last night. Not the new Intimidator, but the placeholder, which looked great. Where it was just had the logo for the 2025 championship.
They did that in 23 also.
Yes, it's just a placeholder. They did say the new one will be up ahead of for the start of the season.
People freaked out whenever they put
Right.
your dash. They're like, are they getting rid of the Intimidator? It's like,
No.
buddy.
But
As long as you have 2 legs, I have 2 eyes, and we both have 4 lips.
there you go.
That Intimidator is going to stay in Alec Box.
It was it was nice to be in Alec Box last night to hear the cheers, see all the people, shake some hands. But Jay Johnson gave a heck of a speech, man. He is, God, I put it out. I would die for that man. Like he is one of the greatest things to ever happen to my life. Like yeah, I know. Like we were listening to him talk in the post-game presser after the national championship, and he was like going out of his way of, I just won the national championship. I'm going to answer as many questions as they have.
Well, yeah, because they tried to
They're trying to end it. Let him go celebrate.
Early,
he's like, no,
buddy, I got nothing else to do.
That
I
like
just won a national championship.
When he put his foot down like that, or even like talking about the guys, and he was like, turns and looks at them and is like, I love you guys. And I was like
makes you want to cry.
I could cry right now. And then last night
he's not lying.
And then last night he's given his flowers to Skip, and like that was about as emotional as I've ever been. Was when Skip was first introduced by Bill Franquez, who did an excellent job emceeing last night, and an excellent ode to Skip Bertman, where he broke it down from like the Miami baseball pitching coach had a great gig, but decided to take a shot and build a baseball program at LSU. Went through all the things, and he's now the greatest. Like, dude, I was sitting there and I was like about to start bawling my eyes out, and then Jay gets up there and start talking. He gives his flowers to Skip, and it was awesome. But here's a clip of Jay talking last night and giving the flowers to the fan base. He is just, man, he is as good as it gets from all of the standpoints as a head coach, from managing the roster to making the right moves, from a technical standpoint to working in the media, like to talking in the media, handling the relationship he has with Skip, and then giving the fans flowers and respect when they deserve it. He is the perfect storm of a head coach. And he's the best in the world, man.
Yeah, and I was, before we play it, just because I was talking to somebody from, I forget, it was either D1 Baseball or, SEC Unfiltered. And they were like, how does he make time for all of this? Like, because he said he would agree to an interview to do this. Like, this is all he does.
Yes.
Like, he'll never miss an opportunity to talk about LSU baseball because that's what he lives, breathes, dies for. And you really can't see it whenever they're like, like the day after the national championship, he does not care. Like, that's another day to promote the program. And that's why he is, if you haven't realized it yet, you're lucky to got him. Like, you're lucky to have him.
Yeah.
Lucky to got him. Lucky to get him. And shout out also to Scott Woodward for having him. Because
Yes.
Great hire. Not anybody that was on the board. And he could not be better than
Home
this.
run hire.
All of you. It doesn't matter if it's Wednesday in the middle of June, if it's in Baton Rouge or Omaha or 1:17 a.m., you never run out of energy.
How happy he is.
God, man. Like, that's how
You know
he
what I love
started
about all of you?
his
It doesn't
speech
matter if it's
I know.
after winning the national championship.
Wednesday in the middle of June, if it's in Baton Rouge
Curio feels
or
good.
Omaha
Yeah.
or 1:17 a.m., you never run out of energy.
God, man. Like, starts a speech by thanking the fans
Of course.
who, first off, packed out. Like, that place was more packed out last night
Yes.
for a national championship celebration than most other schools get for their biggest game of the year. Like,
He
the
does
best
that.
fan base in the world.
And like, if there's any conjecture, where else would you go?
No, he said it last night. He said
Right, that's
it's
what
the
I'm saying,
best
like-
job in baseball, like not college baseball, baseball. It's the best. He was
New
like,
York Yankees,
he said-
Boston Red Sox, Chicago Cubs, St.
LSU
Louis Cardinals,
Tigers.
Los Angeles Dodgers, LSU Tigers.
like the best job in baseball. He said there was a point when he was getting into college baseball, coaching college baseball. Somebody told him, one of his friends in the media said that college baseball is a channel changer. And he said, obviously, that man's never been to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, dude, LSU has the best head coach in the world when it comes to baseball. And he is as good as it gets, man. And it was a great job he did last night at the celebration. It was a great celebration. Got to hear from a handful of different players. They honored Chris Stanfield, who was the Tony Gwynn Community Service Award winner. Kate Anderson, the most outstanding player. You heard from Pearson, Milam, Anderson. Bill Franquez, like I said, did an excellent job. You heard from Jay Johnson. You heard from the mayor, president, Sid Edwards. Gave him the key to the city. It was awesome. It was a good night. And shout out to Jay Johnson and LSU baseball. As he told, one of the questions Sid asked last night was, how quickly did you get back to work? And Jay said, the second that plane landed. And I was like, I mean, he's not wrong. As Andrew Rydell of, I believe he's College Baseball Central, he's a reporter, said that there have been transfer players that he's heard are linked to LSU already. Third baseman Bryce Callaway from University of New Orleans, right-handed pitcher Landon Mack from Rutgers, lefty Dylan Lloyd from Tennessee, middle infielder Jaron Advincula from Cal, and left-handed pitcher Santiago Garcia from Oregon. I have a feeling that it's going to be a fun couple of weeks from the baseball recruiting side now that Jay is officially back in that mode, has done his celebrating. The celebrating is over. It's time for Jay to get back doing what he loves to do, and that's recruiting for LSU baseball and winning in the transfer portal. He's done every single year he's been at LSU. He's actually wrecked the transfer portal. There's the tweet right there. There's the names of some of the guys he's heard are linked to LSU, and I have a feeling over the next 2 to 3 weeks you'll be hearing some announcements.
I also have a feeling that whatever you see, don't believe. Because of the way that this thing has operated and gone. Like, it's easy to report on LSU.
Of course.
And be like, oh, who's the hottest transfer portal name? Who's the guy that's going to get paid the most? Oh, LSU. Tell me you heard of Daniel Dickinson before this year.
Right.
Tell me you heard of Luis Hernandez before this year. Like,
Chris Stanfield.
You can put out whatever list you want.
Yep.
And this is no shade toward Andrew Rydell. It's just the fact of the matter of how Jay operates. Like, you don't know some of these guys that he's going to pull in.
Right.
Probably going to be more pitchers than anything.
Yes.
And they have plenty of pitching. But when you look at the lineup up and down, sure, there's some spots to add some players. But you're pretty stacked because of the way that you recruited.
No, and I mean the way
But I just don't like Bryce Callaway makes a ton of sense.
Yes.
Right there, right down the road.
And third base.
Right, but I also think you got one.
Yeah, right. But it never hurts to have more than
No.
one.
And then you can make him probably change positions.
Right. I mean, you've got pieces. Like, that's the
But
thing.
that's much my only thing is, like, people will put out names. Like, none of this is – all of this is conjecture.
Of course.
Nobody really knows how Jay gets his deal done until it's done.
Right. But conjecture is part of the game, and that's the spot where we're in right now, where – you hear names, you see names, you put them out there, and these are some of the ones that are currently being thrown out there, and I think there are some that make sense. I think when you see pitchers out there, I think LSU will add some more arms. Obviously, Bryce Callaway makes sense right down the street, third baseman, all of those things.
Because think about what you have to replace, right? I know we haven't gotten into, like, the talking part of this show yet. But I guess we are.
Right.
Go around the infield. We did this yesterday when you go, need a new catcher, Cater Beatty.
Yep.
First baseman?
One of the transfers you have already, possibly.
Dardar,
I think maybe not a first baseman.
More
I
middle
think
infield.
The other guy is possibly the first baseman. I saw some people throw Fry out there at first base. I don't think Fry is coming back. And if he does, it's to play the outfield. That's where he would be. He would be in the outfield, not at first base.
Waste of athleticism.
It would be a waste of athleticism to have him at first base. Third base is another position where I think Dardar potentially, but I think Pearson is probably in
and
that
he'll only
mix.
be a sophomore, so I can see if you want to DH him,
right.
because that bat has to play.
Yes. Second base you're replacing, and I think that'll be Tanner Reeves. He was a second baseman coming in, played him out of position, out of necessity. I think he shifts back towards second base to replace
Who do you think plays
Dickinson.
shortstop? Do you think you
Maybe
can do
the
it?
best shortstop in all of college baseball, Steven Monster Milam. And then you look at the outfield, you've got pieces now. Now, there's still some conjecture around potentially what it'll look like. I would say there's two locks in your outfield, and that's Derek Curiel and Jake Brown, who were two of your best players this year. They will be everyday outfielders next year. Now, the positions they'll be in, I think, depend on what other moves are made. But
I mean, there's a possibility Stanfield comes back. Fry comes
maybe.
back.
I would be surprised if both of them came back.
Of course.
Stanfield more
But I
so
was
than
also
Fry.
surprised when Bear came back.
Of course. I think Stanfield, I'd be surprised more so than Fry. Because I think Stanfield really,
And what more?
what more can he show?
That's what I said about Bear Jones last year.
Right.
What more
I
can
agree.
you do?
I agree.
And he came back. Stanfield, what more can you do? I don't know. Bat second.
Right. That'd be a true leadoff.
I think Curiel's got that.
Yeah,
pretty-
spot locked.
Yeah.
Fry, I think.
Take away his walk-up song, though.
Yeah. Well, Fry, I think, there's a genuine discussion about the reasoning for him to come back would be show what you can do defensively. I think that would be a way for his draft stock to increase. Because he from a batting standpoint, an offensive standpoint, it would be hard to show much more than what he did this year because he was a wrecking ball in the lineup. So, and that'll be part of what our July month looks like because there's not going to be much else to talk about. I do want to get to this clip from Brandon Walker of Barstool. I want everyone, if they haven't heard it, I'm sure they have, to hear it, and then us to discuss it a tad bit as he talked about the problem with LSU fans in general. And I wish T-Bob would not have gotten cut off with his response because T-Bob was about to cook. Just from the start of his answer, it was put in he constructed it so well. I was like, oh, T-Bob's about to let it really break it down for him because it's such an asinine take from Brandon Walker.
Well, Brandon Walker has to stand on Brandon Walker business.
Of course.
Because he came out with the take that was, oh, anybody could do it at LSU.
Right.
It's not a Jay Johnson thing, it's an LSU thing, which, cool if you're from 5,000 feet. You don't understand. The job's not that easy.
No.
I understand what the colors are, I understand what the brand is, but
from Skip to Jay, there was one national championship. From 2000 to 2003, that is 23 years of baseball. There was one national championship won. So I don't want to hear this. It's just LSU, because
two
natties in 4 years isn't just because of
LSU. I can pay players at LSU everybody.
Whatever.
Well, that's not the case. It's not as what you think
No.
it is.
This idea that LSU is just in the business of going and pay. Who knew who Paul Skeens was before he got to LSU? Not that many people. Tommy White was the biggest portal get that year.
Yeah.
Over Paul Skeens, and Paul Skeens ended up becoming the most dominant pitcher of all time. So this idea that LSU does
Here's
not
the problem with you LSU fan.
this idea that LSU does not develop talent and instead buys it is unbelievable. The two best pitchers you've seen the last 3 years, Paul Skeens and Cade Anderson, strikeout leaders nationally. Paul Skeens, number 1 all-time season strikeouts. Cade Anderson, number 3. Both were developed at LSU. Now, Paul was obviously transferred in. He was a two-way player. This was not a PO that is supposed to come in and be the best pitcher in America and best pitcher in the world. Got developed at LSU, became a pitcher only, and turned into the best pitcher I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes. Cade Anderson was a midweek guy a year ago from today that you thought maybe potentially
Sunday
could be your Sunday starter. Chase Shores is going to come back. No. How about Cade Anderson's the best pitcher in baseball, is going to be the number 1 pick?
Yeah, Nationals are pretty good at this, huh?
If
you are.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Just draft LSU players. But this discussion that LSU just buys the best players is unbelievable.
And here is one.
Let's hear it.
BFW.
Here's the problem with you LSU fans. Are you ready?
Yeah, what's the problem?
You always want it both ways.
Yeah.
You always want it both ways. You will stand up and fight for your coach. You'll call me whatever in the sun. You'll call my wife, or you'll do all these big things. At the same time, you'll be the first ones. If he starts out 3-6 in the SEC next year, you'll want him fired. It's the same fan base that wanted him fired this year for losing a midweek in April. It's the same fan base. You guys will turn on a coach faster than anybody. It's the same fan base that told me I was an idiot because I said Orgeron's not.
Don't do this.
No, it's the same fan base that told me I was an idiot because I said Orgeron's not a good coach. And they said, well, we won a national title. He's one of the best coaches in the country. And then 3 weeks later, Ed Orgeron's not a good coach. You were right. You want it both ways.
That's like with one of your friends, right? You can shit on your friend, but you don't want somebody else to shit on you.
Why would you shit on your coach if he's the best coach in America?
Because passion is not all positive. Passion means you run hot and you run cold.
I mean, I wish T-Bob wouldn't have gotten cut off because that was a great point at the end of just being a passionate fan base. Don't get me wrong. Brandon has some
merit,
legitimacy to his argument. The LSU fan base is one of...
But that's a Twitter take.
Yeah, and on top of that, I don't want my fan base. I don't want the LSU fan base to become indifferent because that's what it sounds like Brandon wants the LSU fan base to be, where you either love or hate your coach, and you ride that wave regardless. That's not how fandom works. That's not what happens when you have a standard. There's a standard that's set. Now, Jay Johnson, to me, is the standard and should have enough leeway where if it gets rocky at points, you should trust in him to get it right. But I don't want to sit here and say that just because he's done this in the first 4 years and I love him so much that if in 3 years it's absolutely haywire that LSU's in debt. No, that's not how fandom works. But T-Bob is 1,000% right that passion is not something that can only be positive. Passion runs hot and it runs cold. You can get upset with the way things are going, but you can also have your coach's back regardless. And so to have this expectation of LSU fans to support and defend their guy, but then not hold him to a standard, it's unbelievable. It's stupid. I don't want the fan base to become indifferent and to just ride with a guy regardless. And great job by T-Bob for articulating an argument there before it got cut off. And I understand Brandon's point of view because, like you said, there's merit to it. Like, the fan base was very upset after that midweek loss to Northwestern
Omaha,
State.
Or Northwestern State.
Or the Auburn sweep. Or the Little Rock loss, your only loss in the postseason. I get it. The fan base runs hot. You saw the fan base loathe Bear Jones against Arkansas in game number 3 when he was striking out again. And then he makes the error at first base on the potential turn double play to get out of the inning.
What do you call it?
Where Arkansas ends up scoring 2. And then an inning later, he hits a game-tying home run, and the fan base loves him again. Like, I get it.
And then walks it off.
Like, I get it. I understand. Like, I don't like it either that the fan base is like that. I'm glad the fan base cares to that extent to at least be able to feel things that strongly either way or to ride that roller coaster, because that, to me, is fandom. Like, that's what being a fan is.
Yeah, when you're good, people care.
You ride the roller coaster regardless of what it looks like.
Well, no. Well, that's the part that people do need to understand. You ride the roller coaster regardless. Like, this shit pisses me off. At Orgeron, I understand. Like, it's as high of a high as you can. Literally a drug.
Yes.
Is Ed Orgeron. Like, you do it, and you're like, oh, I feel phenomenal. Next day you wake up, how many more times can I do this before I run out of money? And then you ran out of money because it's a fickle mistress. But when it comes to Jay Johnson, there's literally, what can you say? Like, couldn't be more consistent at the job, couldn't be better at the job, and from Brandon Walker's perspective, it's sour grapes. You wish you had him at Mississippi State. You do. LSU has him. LSU found him. Scott Woodward found him.
Yeah.
It could have been anybody. You could have gone and Scott Woodward goes and gets the biggest, best, most popular name you can go grab. Didn't do it. Evaluated, found talent. A younger coach that has been able to succeed at every stop he's ever had comes to LSU and says, oh, he gets it. And immediately, who does he hitch his horse to?
The greatest baseball coach of all
and
time.
Understands that that's what you're supposed to do.
That's how it works.
Because he is the best of all time to ever coach the sport. Why would I not want to learn from him? And instead of going like, I'm going to do it my way. Like, no, I don't need any of this old LSU. Like, whatever the Coastal Carolinas coach name is, oh, come find me, Coastal. He's suspended for the next 2 games.
Kevin Schnall.
Kevin Chanticleer.
But I like, to me.
But no, I'm saying, like, if that guy came into LSU, he would be like, I'm going to do it the way Kevin Schnall way.
Right.
And there's there is merit to that.
You want your coach to handle, like, to be their own person and do it their. Jay Johnson is coaching LSU baseball, running this program Jay Johnson's way.
But you also have to understand what you're stepping into.
Yes, 1,000%.
And I think Jay got both right.
100. Yeah, no, I agree. Carl Dunn, the best thing about LSU is the fans, and the worst thing about LSU is the fans.
1,000%.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And so, next, LSU football. Just a quick headline. Jabari Mack, the #1 wide receiver in the state of Louisiana, has shut down his recruitment and is locked in with the Tigers after he visited this past weekend for an official visit, the huge LSU football official visit weekend. And Zach Nagy at ZNaggy20 on Twitter announces that Jabari Mack has doubled down on his pledge to the Tigers and has shut down his recruitment. Obviously, I know a lot of people, especially LSU football fans, are not all in on understanding and believing those sorts of announcements, and I get it. Last night was the NBA draft. I had no idea because I was all locked in on LSU baseball for the last month of my life.
Imagine telling that to
a couple of months of my life.
15-year-old Noah.
I'm at the celebration, and Christian calls me. He was like, Pelicans just drafted him. And I was like, wait, the draft's tonight? Had no idea. I used to be glued to the TV for the draft. And I still tuned in last night once I realized that it was a draft. I've been on this LSU, I've been in Omaha.
Well, and part of that to me is I don't know who you have to call, who you have to talk to. Maybe it's Carl. But college baseball is like a storm that's coming.
Yes.
And they need to recognize it and start preparing for it because everybody gears up for the College World Series, and it feels like it's a nice little anecdote because there's nothing really going on. Buddy, college baseball could be...
It's a monster.
It's more popular... Would you say more popular than Major League Baseball at this moment in time?
Than regular season Major League Baseball.
Right,
yes.
Because it's all about timing, right?
Right.
It's all... But
everyone would watch the last 2 months of college baseball.
Everybody watched Omaha.
Conference play, conference tournaments, Omaha, or the postseason in general. Everyone would watch that over Major League regular season. It's awesome.
And
they care. I had the conversation with plenty of people about Major League Baseball versus college baseball. And our Uber drivers were like, college baseball is awesome. He was like, it's so much different. I was like, it's the emotion, the raw emotion, the passion that the fans have, the players have, the coaches have.
It's being down 5-3 against Arkansas on the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs, and anything can happen.
Well, it's what Major League Baseball really used to be. I know you and Christian watched the Red Sox documentary.
Very loudly.
And Christian was like, we were talking, he was like, I think I'm a Red Sox fan now. I was like, yeah. I was like, because that's awesome. That's what Major League Baseball
That's what I grew up on.
That's what college baseball is now. And has been, but it's being put on a TV, full display for everyone to watch. The emotion, the passion that Major League Baseball just doesn't have right now.
And so it becomes October.
Right, until you get to postseason play.
Well, and it's become so bought out.
Yes.
The Dodgers are deferring payment for 18 players that they can stack their roster with, and I get that. Great business move. But the Yankees, Red Sox, they played each other, 2 years in a row of both going back and forth between the ALCS, ALCS again. We're going to go sign Kurt Schilling. We're going to sign Alex Rodriguez. Actually, we signed Alex Rodriguez if you're the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you have Nomar Garciaparra. Then you put some fool on TV like me. Kevin Baller's like, give me A-Rod. It's like, you have Nomar. It's like, oh, was that the question?
Yeah, right.
The beginning of how video to TV works, God Lord, had I battled that fight for a long time that it took a while to figure out. But to have somebody on television that you can actually see as opposed to a phone call, that makes a difference. But to have that call and response, and then it's I didn't know that's what I said. Because you're an idiot. And he would say it himself. He's like, yeah, we're a bunch of idiots.
Right.
And then you see that behind the scenes, and then you see LSU in the powerhouse
and
all that stuff, and you get to see the players kind of in this whole different light whenever you have social media, and it works to your benefit because LSU does a great job of doing that. And it becomes I feel like I know these guys.
Right.
There's nothing more I can root for than this group.
Well, and that's why, on top of that, this is where college baseball has failed in one sense, is having guys announce these games that don't know these guys. And it being handled where you have Eduardo and Carl Ravitch. Nothing against them as MLB
but they're
announcers.
given an impossible
They're
task.
professional baseball announcers. They have not covered college baseball.
Give me Peterson.
And so don't put a damper on the best event you have in your sport. One of the best events in sports. By having guys that say Malam and don't know anything about these guys.
Oh, maybe. They're bringing a lefty to face Stephen Malam. He's a switch hitter.
Right, and his last name is Milam.
Mm-hmm.
those things.
Well,
can
you just
be,
noticed it because you pay so much attention to it.
Right, now
Like,
it's-
you live and breathe it.
Yes, and so college baseball is a monster that is on the way, and in that discussion is like the NBA draft, like last night, didn't have the coverage. Like the NBA finals didn't have the coverage because of potentially. Now, part of it's because of the matchup. The other part is college baseball is a monster. People are watching it. But the Pelicans did make the news wire last night as they made some trades. They make their pick at 7 in Jeremiah Fears, who was potentially the best ball handler in the draft, absolute electric player, and then trade away, and this is the discussion, they trade away an unprotected 2026 first-round pick. So now they have no firsts next year. They traded away their only first next year, which was the trade swap between them and the Bucks from the Drew Holiday trade when they traded him to Milwaukee. Well, now the Bucks, you don't know if they're going to be good or not. Giannis wants out or whatever. And so a lot of people are rubbed the wrong way by unprotected. I think people would have been willing to trade away that first if it's a top 5 protected, top 10, lottery protected, whatever. It was unprotected. They trade it to go from 23 to 13. They draft Derek Queen at 13, a guy that they liked at 7. So they get 2 guys they really liked. A lot of discussion to be had about that. We'll get into that some point later, maybe even tomorrow. Into the 2 claps for this morning. Scott Woodward deserves 2 claps. And we saw this man front and center after the championship victory on Sunday. Me and Lloyd saw him with our own 2 eyes right there, just sitting and
Even a black squirrel
enjoying,
finds a nut, huh?
basking in the glory of his decision to hire Jay Johnson 4 years ago yesterday. As Scott Woodward has done an excellent job since he took over as AD in 2019. LSU has won 6 national championships since Scott Woodward took over. Football in 19, men's track and field in 21, women's basketball and baseball in 23, gymnastics last year in 24, and then baseball again in 2025. And I think baseball, obviously, the hire that he can maybe hang his hat on. I think Kim Mulkey's still there. Like, hang your hat on that. That's a massive hire. Everyone knew who Kim Mulkey was when she came into LSU. Scott Woodward went out and found Jay Johnson, brought him in, and has grown the powerhouse of baseball. Scott Woodward deserves 2 claps. Ready? Been a while. Daniel Dickinson, if you saw him on his way out at the celebration last night, he was in a sling walking out to enjoy his championship victory last night. And I think that's when everyone maybe realized how real it was, what he played through. Obviously, it was announced after the game that Daniel Dickinson fought through a broken hand, a broken hamate bone that he suffered during game number 1 against Little Rock. Here he is walking out with the sling on, the cast on. A true representation of a tiger, man. Like, got a huge roar from the crowd last night, and deservedly so, as, like we said, game number 1 against Little Rock, game he hits 2 jacks against Little Rock. He breaks his hamate bone in his hand and then pushes through that and helps lead LSU to a victory of a national championship in Omaha. You never saw it. You maybe saw a little drop down in his hitting. People were wondering why is that, whatever. Still contributed from an offensive standpoint, had 5 hits in Omaha. Defensively, never once saw him waver from his glove hand. It was a broken hand on his glove hand. Never once saw him play poorly at his position, suffering from that injury. He pushed through, he battled, and helped lead LSU to their 8th national championship. 8th national championship, which is the reason he came here to LSU, was to win that and get that victory. 2 claps for Daniel Dickinson. Ready?
And to put on top of that, do you know how easy it would have been to make that a story for himself? Like that.
So easy.
Like, to one thing, like Wentz, or be like, shake your hand. Like, even the way that it was wrapped up, people didn't ask any questions because he never made it a story.
Never.
But if you were struggling, or not doing outputting the power numbers that he's been able to put up previously, you never saw him do it. Like, you never saw him once reference his hand or wince at his hand or anything like that. All we saw was, damn, that thing's wrapped up tight.
Yeah.
Like, we were just like, interesting.
I think it was the first practice we were at. We saw him walking on without his glove on, and he was wrapping it up, and we were like, okay. Or maybe it was before the game. I don't remember. It was before something. We were standing there on the sideline. We saw him wrapping his hand up, but it just,
maybe that's something he does all the time.
Yeah, he never flinched. He never winced. He never showed any sort of pain.
And I can guarantee you, even if he had struggled, which I would think in his mind, he didn't have the power output that he probably wanted to have in Omaha, because, I mean, he said it himself, and Jay has referenced it also, where it's this is a one and done.
Right.
I'm coming to LSU to win a national championship,
and then go play
professional baseball. Is there a one in which he comes back? I have no clue, but that is a dude.
Yes.
That stepped in and immediately, kind of like Jay Johnson,
yes,
immediately got it. It's not about me.
A true LSU Tiger. That
should have been, it's unbelievable that they found each other.
Yes.
It's a perfect story because of how much he represents LSU for that 1 year. And I'm sure he wanted it to probably
go differently
a little bit just because of the injury, but to actually fucking bite down and be like, this doesn't matter to me at all. That's such an easy out to have, and
yes,
to not use it is a massive another. 2 claps ready.
1,000%. 2 claps for Omaha. Everything that goes into it. The trip for us. But really what I want to give the 2 claps to is
the Reuben.
That sandwich was awesome. But the LSU fan base, never fails to amaze me. Even when I expect it, it still amazes me. The LSU baseball parents are as good as it gets. Everything that goes into this program is top class. The coaches, the head coach, the assistant coaches,
it's top down,
the
buddy.
Equipment staff, the trainers, the players.
They don't have to give us the time of day.
The players' parents, as good as it gets. The fan base, the Omaha in general was excellent, but everything that goes into it from an LSU baseball standpoint deserves 2 claps, because that is a world-class program full of world-class people from every single
tip to tail.
Literally. Coaches,
Literal
players,
tails.
parents, dogs,
men dressed as tigers.
Yes, the whole thing, man. It was beyond impressive, even from a standpoint of you expect it. You expect LSU baseball to have the fan base travel like that. And I was still in awe when I was looking at, because before I went and sat with, went and stood down with Lloyd with the fan base, I sat in the press box and had my stuff ready, and you get a pretty good view of the entire stadium from there. And man, that Coastal Carolina series, it was purple and gold. There was one section.
You're fucked, buddy.
202 was the only teal section in that entire place.
Jacks up.
God, it's awesome. And it was this baseball program, from the fan base to the players to the coaches to the parents, they all deserve 2 claps. Ready. As good as it gets, man. Next up, Gabe Reliford, the freak of the week for LSU football, and rightfully so. The way he talked about Flint highlighted Gabe Reliford. He said something like, this is a guy who's however tall and 260 and is running 20 miles per hour. Look at him. Guy, he's adorable. He's so happy.
He looks like your dad.
He does look like my dad. He does.
This is my dad.
There you go. Some fathers.
Happy Father's Day.
Gabe Reliford got me fired up for football again. As much as I'm still in the baseball high. I mean, football is what?
2 months away.
2 months and 4 days away from kickoff against Clemson. And Gabe Reliford winning Freak of the Week fired me up all over again, because
it did.
That is a freak.
We called it. I mean, what's the saying? Never wrong, just a little early.
Yeah.
We've been on the Gabe Reliford train,
brother,
for a while.
I mean, I don't know. I forget what his measurements are. I feel like
don't matter.
Flint
Ball
said
player.
it 1,000%. But just the fact that he's 6'2", 268, and he's running 20 miles per hour.
Louisiana different.
You brought in these defensive ends in Pyburn and Patrick Payton and Jamari Butler. Like, you expect all of them to play. Gabe Reliford could very well be the best one out of all four of those guys.
This year, book it.
Like, dog. And watching him work in this Freak of the Week video. Is there music in this? I don't remember.
We'll find out very quickly.
I guess we will when we get our demonetization message. It's fine. Just roll with it. I want everybody to get fired up like me.
65-pound human running over the point. Give him respect where it's due. The highest point getter in this group, her highest point in the team. This guy is a 265-pound human running over 20 miles per hour. This guy's scoring. Hey, Reliford, where you at?
He's a dog. He's cute.
That's what LSU football looks like, brother. 6'2", 265, whatever, running 20 miles per hour.
With a smile.
With a smile. And then, he can go from the smile to that first image where he's got the hoodie on and you can just see. Dude.
Yeah, football.
It's about to, dude's about to hit like crack.
It is.
Shout out Rob
Ford.
Ford.
Like Mayor Ford.
Dude, I watched the documentary.
How funny is he?
Dude's unbelievable.
I didn't do crack
I didn't do that.
cocaine.
There's no video.
Me. If the video it's not.
I want to see the video. I think it was in one of my drunken stupors. It's unbelievable.
His
But
face in the documentary that they use as a thumbnail is unbelievable. Like, that looks like crack, buddy.
shout out to Gabe Reliford.
Shout out to Mayor Ford.
2 claps. Ready.
2 cracks.
But, man, that Gabe Reliford video, I watched it and I was like, I hadn't even thought about football and I am ready.
See, emotionally, I have 2 different speeds.
Yes.
Like, baseball, I'm very much how I played it. Like, everything, you have to let the game come to you. Watch it. You can never count anything that happens until it's over.
Yes, I broke this down to Christian the other day.
Because of
the difference between you during baseball season and during football season.
Like, you saw it in the videos that you put out.
It's very different.
It's like, want to know. That's good. Great. Like, next one.
Football
is crack.
Yes.
I'm a animal.
Well, and you have your emotions about certain people in both buildings, and so you handle things differently in those areas. But you still
That's so true.
That's
God
that's always been your feeling about those 2 sports. You've always been Mr. Positivity with baseball.
Football makes me nervous.
Yes, and rightfully so. Football is still, like, as great as baseball is, football is still king. Like, it is still the one.
No, I just know the program's in good hands in baseball. Like,
yes.
Regardless if you're not going to win a national championship every year, but to be as good as you are at baseball, and it's so hard to win the whole thing, like, you just have to have those expectations of, like I said, there's like checklist of things you have to do, whether it's 2024, whenever, it starts off rough and people are upset, and then, like, you're not winning in the SEC. I assume that you have the right guy that's going to be able to figure out, guess what? They got very good and got very close to figuring out with a team that wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And Jay was the first one to say, we weren't good last year. And for him to be able to admit it and say it, it's tough. But he also coached the shit out of it to where you're like, damn, you're 1 game away, 1 pitch away from hosting a super regional at Alec Box. And if you get that, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Football is very much results oriented.
Oh my
One
gosh.
game, one thing, and then yes, it is very much how I look at how are you not ready? How are you not prepared? I don't give a fuck. Figure it out.
Yeah. No, I'm
you
with
have too much the way that baseball's set up. You have too much talent in the state. You have too much to not be able to succeed.
Yes.
And there's no excuse.
Yes. No, I'm with you. And so that Gabe Reliford video, seeing it on Twitter yesterday,
back and forth of, maybe the portal, maybe not the portal, man.
got me fired up and ready for August 30th.
Oh yeah, I'll be different.
It's 2 months and 4 days away.
Oh,
Shout out to LSU baseball getting us to this point.
Best of luck, brother.
We're ready for August 30th. Next up in the 2 claps, this is kind of 2 sides of the coin here from the NBA draft. Joe Dumars, I do want to give some credit to. Does this trade look a little stupid? Yeah.
Oh,
what
God.
I like is you can't play both sides of the game.
Yeah.
And Joe Dumars can't sit there and say, like he said, pretty publicly, I believe this team is good enough to win we are going to keep this roster and make it a winner for next season, and then not be willing to move on from the 2026 draft picks. If you are building this team for this season to be successful, those 2026 draft picks should not be that big of a deal. And so what he's doing is betting on what he's saying and showing that he truly believes what he's saying. And that, to me, is a win for the New Orleans organization, because what they had prior was in no direction. David Griffin did a decent job at drafting. I never understood the direction of that team, of the organization. Never once. Were you going to stick with Brandon Ingram and roll? Like, what was happening? There was too many things that just weren't fitting. I never understood the direction of the organization. What Joe Dumars did last night was say and make it pretty obvious he believes this team can win next season. Now, are they a championship contender? No. But he's betting on Zion being a top 10 player, which he can be if he stays healthy. Now, that's a tough thing to bet on. That's what he's betting on. Yeah. He went out, he drafted 2 guys that fit one thing this team needs, and it's offense. You have been so defensively oriented with Willie Green's style of play. You went out and got 2 offensive players to bring in instant offense, and then plus the trade prior with Sadiq Bey and Jordan Poole in exchange for C.J. McCollum. That's offense. You need offense to be successful in the NBA. I do like the aggressiveness by Joe Dumars. I think those 2 picks were good picks. You got Fears, who I liked at 7. You got Queen, who I liked at 7. You got them both at 7 and 13. You weren't going to get anybody at 23 the level of Queen's talent. And if you're at 15 again next year, who's going to promise you that there's somebody of Queen's talent there next season? Dumars identified talent, went and made it happen. David Griffin never did that. So shout out to Joe Dumars there. He deserves 2 claps just from the standpoint of identifying talent, putting out the fact that he's saying he believes in this team, and then having having his own back and making the moves to do that. 2 claps. Ready. The other side of the coin, the Atlanta Hawks deserve 2 claps for that trade, because to get a 2026 unprotected first-round pick to only drop back in the draft 10 picks is a pretty good deal from their standpoint. They deserve 2 claps. Ready. Next up, Stetson Bennett. I saw this last night, and I don't know how true it is. I did Google it, and it said it was true, that he didn't graduate from Georgia. I figured you would respect this. He didn't graduate from Georgia with a degree. Which means
How long was he there?
He graduated in 2022 was his last year, I believe. I'm trying to think. Or maybe it was 23.
There for 6 years.
He was there for at least 5-6 years. Not at Georgia, but like in college for that long. Was at Georgia for more than 4 years. And didn't leave with a degree.
2 natties.
That's called all ball, brother.
Yes, sir.
I'm here for football and nothing else.
Football and booze.
It's hard to go to school for 6 years and not graduate, like not get a degree.
There's not even that many classes you could take.
Like John Emery was the ultimate like.
Do you see he put out Lil Wayne as his Mr.
I saw that.
Yeah, God, he has my heart.
John Emery, the biggest knock against him was his academics. That man graduated with a degree. You want to talk about Stetson Bennett's a lawyer and accountant? I'm pretty sure you have to have a degree to do both of those things. So, shout out to him for being
John Emery college grad.
Strictly,
2 claps.
John Emery, 2 claps, ready. Stetson Bennett, strictly football, brother. 2 claps, ready. I figured you would respect that, Lloyd.
Incredible.
I figured you would respect that. So,
all ball.
Literally strictly football.
Him and Cordell Jones.
Don't forget, every single day we are brought to you by AJ Sports Cards. We will be at their event. I believe it's this weekend. Don't forget about that, Lloyd.
What a perfect.
It flew by. We'll be at their event this weekend, the 28th, as they, I forget what it was called, but they have a very special event with LSU baseball players there. Make sure
Death Valley
you go.
Sports Collectible Show.
There you go. Make sure you're there. I think Bear Jones, William Schmidt, Ashton Larson. Do you have the list of players' names? Stephen Milam.
Ashton Larson, Daniel Dickinson, Jared Bear Jones, Kate Anderson, Stephen Monster Milam, and one William Schmidt will be there.
Your national champion Tigers. And we were talking about this event when we first teamed up with AJ Sports Cards. We said potentially these could be national champions at this event, and they very much will be, as they got the job done on Sunday, and they will be at this event. Do not forget about the Death Valley Sports Collectible Show, Saturday, June 28th, 9 o'clock in the morning to 4 p.m. in the afternoon. We will not be there the entire time.
Oh,
because that's a long
you might be
time.
there later.
But we will be there at some point.
No, it might be 9 to 5.
There you go.
It's Tingle & Co.
At the Crown Plaza Executive Center, 4728 Constitution Ave in Baton Rouge. And if you want to contact AJ's for vendor info, you can. AJ's Sports
Bring your
Cards
appetite.
in Baton Rouge off Drusilla Lane, 3348 Drusilla Lane in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Their phone number is 225-831-4508. Swing by the store, go to the event, and any time you run into them,
Eat a card.
make sure you let them know you heard about them on Tingle & Co. Appreciate you guys. We will take a quick break as we have rolled through technically the first hour. We started a little late, so it's been 1 hour. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back after this.
At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's a repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality. When it comes to your home, the roof over your head matters. At CAS Roofing, we don't just install shingles, we build peace of mind. With years of experience and a commitment to craftsmanship, our team shows up on time, gets the job done right, and treats every project like it's our own home. Whether it's a repair, a replacement, or storm damage that caught you off guard, CAS Roofing is ready. We're local, we're dependable, and we stand behind every nail, every shingle, and every promise we make. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about roofing, it's about protecting what matters most. CAS Roofing, built on trust, backed by quality.
On a blazing Sunday afternoon, the masses gather once again as the Men's College World Series continues. Game 2 today between the last team standing, the Coastal Carolina Mountaineers and your Fighting Tigers of LSU. Heinsohn winds, fires, getting to chase a breaking ball down in the dirt. Bodine down on strikes. That one a cold strike for you, struck him out. Line drive to left, and it's over the head of Alexander. Bounces off the front into the wall, and Daniel Dickinson scores as Ethan Fry hammers a line drive to left field, and we are tied 1-1. 1-1 on score, top of the fourth, a chance for the Tigers. Open it up. The 1-0, base hit left field. Here comes Brown. They're going to wave Jones around. The throw coming into second, and Chris Stanfield delivers. 2-run single, and the Tigers lead 3-1. There's a base hit, center field. Come on home, Hernandez. Stanfield around third will join him. And the Tigers, off the bat of Derek Coryell, now lead 5-1. 2 outs, runners first and second. Another 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Anthony Heinsohn with a huge strikeout, his 7th of the day. The 0-1 hit hard to center field. Stanfield coming in, diving, and makes the grab. Standing with a play out in center field to record out number 1. Heinsohn fires. Swing and a miss. Yeehaw! Strikeout number 9 for Anthony Heinsohn. The 1-2 to the plate. Swing and a miss. Tigers of LSU. Shores comes set, the 0-1. Ground ball towards Dickinson, flips it to Milam. The relay to first in time. Tigers win! Tigers win! For the second time in 3 seasons and the 8th time in program history, the Fighting Tigers reach the pinnacle. They stand alone atop the mountain. Your LSU Fighting Tigers, the 2025 College Baseball National Champions. What'd you say? Hey, baby! Hey, baby!
All right, welcome back here on this. What is today? Thursday. I really need a reset week next week to get my timing right because I'm all thrown off. But you saw the commercial.
Thank God for doing this for so long because I just woke up.
Yeah, you did not have an alarm set.
No.
If anyone's wondering why it was 7:15 start this morning.
6:30. I was like,
Go.
What's today?
Guess we have a show. If you saw the CAS Roofing and Advising commercial there during the break 2 times. They have an LSU football season ticket giveaway. They have an LSU football season ticket giveaway this year. As they are, if you have a roof that's over 10 years old, you schedule a free roof inspection with them. Boom, you're in the drawing. You must be in a 50-mile radius of their office to be entered into the drawing, which their office is 18522 Magnolia Bridge Road, Suite 104 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, technically in Central. But yeah, there's no catch, there's no pressure. It's just a free roof inspection. It'll get you a shot at some Tiger football Saturdays. The winner will be announced Thursday, August 7th, 2025. DM them on Facebook or call our guy, Pierce Patterson. Here's the sign. 225-910-0619.
225-910-0619. 2 claps. Ready.
Our guy, Pierce Patterson, over at CAS Roofing and Advising, a really cool season ticket giveaway for LSU football that they're doing. Like I said, you must be in a 50-mile radius of their office. Schedule your free roof inspection.
Where is that office?
With a 10-year-old or more roof. It is 18522 Magnolia Bridge Road, Suite 104 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I swung by there yesterday to get our equipment, as one of my guys from CAS was in Omaha enjoying some baseball. Swung by, they drove, so we got to put the big 100-pound equipment bag in their vehicle as they headed back to Baton Rouge. So, appreciate all of you joining us this morning. Shout out to Andrew Messina for an additional 2 claps for our guy John Eads and his coverage in Omaha. Look, we've said it every time he's come on that he is the hardest working man in LSU sports media, and we got a front row seat to it this past week in Omaha. We would not have been nearly as successful in Omaha if it was not for John Eads and his guidance. Like, half the time we were going to things or getting ready for stuff or trying to figure out where to be.
We're just cosplaying.
Firing off a text to John Eads. Hey, where are we supposed to go for this and that and this and that? Shout out to our guy John Eads, man. He is the best in the business.
How much sunscreen did you put on?
Not nearly as much as John Eads, because I put on zero. And that man, his Michigan skin was coated in sunscreen. And he will be joining us tomorrow morning.
Oh!
To give, he texted me last night during the celebration because I saw him down there on the field, and I was like, "You look great, John, down there enjoying. He looked sun-kissed from his time in Omaha." And he was like, "We need to do a recap show from the party box." I was like, Don't know if we'll be able to pull off the party box, but you can
studio.
come in studio tomorrow. And he was like, how about Friday? I was like, deal.
I think he's taking it a little sleepy.
No, he's got to cover 7-on-7 football this morning. I'm telling you, the man doesn't stop.
His job, dude.
He doesn't stop, man. Shout out to our guy, John H. He deserves 2 claps. Ready. And he also
Let's do it again. 2 claps. Ready.
He also enjoyed his birthday while we were in Omaha. He went and visited the zoo, which we did not make it to.
I know, ample opportunity.
We did. Well, it should have been a team trip. Me and Christian spent a lot of time, just the 2 of us. It's okay.
Pretty boy Lloyd's got to get his rest.
There you go.
And you saw that yesterday. How was the bed? Was it not great?
Where?
In the bed.
No.
You.
Yeah. No, I mean.
Because you didn't answer me. Usually you're pretty quick to text. And I was like, hey,
I needed to recover.
That's.
I woke up. Well,
And you're a straight edge.
Yeah. I got home.
The
Obviously,
things that left my body.
The flight Tuesday morning was at 5 a.m. We arrived in Kansas City around 8:30.
PPO.
And then we got the night at the Days Inn. I did not sleep that night.
Stress?
No, it was just, well, kind of. I guess I was worried that we were not going to wake up for the flight, and I did not want to miss that flight because there was too many things that went wrong going into that I was like,
see,
I'm just gonna have to.
That's where I'm
just gonna have to make sure I'm awake.
I woke up at 4:40 in the morning,
right, and went 1,000 miles per hour for a flight that was 12 hours later.
Almost missed that one.
And so I stayed awake that night. Slept on the first flight. The
What'd
flight
y'all
from
watch?
What? We watched some MLB baseball. And
oh
then,
God, yeah, kill me.
Yeah, it was terrible. But Christian was just entertaining in himself.
Oh, gross.
No, not like you're disgusting. And then
My suitcase.
I slept the flight from Kansas City to Charlotte. I fell asleep before we took off and woke up when we landed. Like, don't remember that flight at all.
Could have brought you anywhere.
As good as it gets. Then had to rush the next flight. I fell asleep on that one. I woke up, we still hadn't taken off yet because there was a mechanical issue with that plane. Oh. So ended up getting home back to the Dirty Sea Central that day, went to sleep. And then yesterday needed a full day to just get my body back normal and slept right through Lloyd's calls and texts. Which I had my ringer on, just didn't wake me up. I needed to recover.
No, I knew it.
It was a mentally and physically taxing 2 weeks.
Because obviously Mikey was on one yesterday, like ready to get back in the studio, of course. But yeah, everybody operates on his time. And I was like, well, I need to make sure I can get the key because I need obviously the way that this whole thing operated, leaving my car keys in your car was the actual idea. Like, I did that on purpose.
Right. To
make sure I didn't lose them because I'm not bringing them to Omaha. Anything can happen. And so it's like, oh, we'll be back whenever we get off the RV.
Yeah.
Didn't take the RV back.
No.
We decided to fly on 2 different planes at 2 different times in 2 different time zones.
Yep.
And then I was like, fuck, I want to make sure that Mikey can get in the studio. And my key to the studio is in my car. You have my car keys. And I was like, ooh, I know he's not.
Ended up working out.
I know, but I'm just saying, I knew that you retired.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I don't want to have to send this text. Sent it, nothing. Sent another one, nothing. Called, nothing. I was like, oh, this is what it's like dealing with me.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's sleeping.
I know. I felt bad, and then I was driving out here to drop the stuff off, and I was like, I really shouldn't
feel
that
bad at all. No, I felt bad. Because you do, at some point, you're responsible for other people. Like, you're always responsible for somebody else. Right. I'm always responsible for Mikey.
Right.
And so I was like, had to make sure, because like we have to do other shows. Like, buddy, I made sure we got shows then.
Yeah.
And then it was like, I hope the studio's open.
Yeah, we made it happen.
I would have broken a car window.
I know you would have. You would have. There's one thing that you will do.
Make it happen, Captain.
It's make it happen. And so.
So thank you, but I knew I was like, oh, he's all tuckered out with Tucker.
I was, dude.
Tucker!
Sleepy, bro. Just mental and physical exhaustion from the last 2 weeks, which were an excellent 2 weeks.
How was
as good
the
of
dog?
2 weeks? It was great. He was so excited. I did miss my dog, but yeah.
Suni was skeptical.
Of course, she hadn't seen you in so long.
I don't know who you are.
It was unbelievable just how I finally got home. That's the longest I've ever been away, on a vacation before. Like, that was 2 weeks of just gone. I've never been gone for 2 weeks straight, and that wasn't the plan when I left. So I did not pack for 2 weeks. I did not pack for a flight. I did not. We were. I'm saying none of us were prepared for what ended up happening, which is why we had so many things go wrong And it was
right.
Right. No, it worked out as good as it could. But, like, people were on Twitter and on YouTube, like,
where are you?
Terrible travel plans, all these things. Like, look, we had this thing teed up and ready. We were good.
We want to give you more content.
And then we were there, and we were just like, or technically me. I was like, why would we?
He's sitting in the corner by himself.
Why would we leave?
Yeah, it took, what, 0.0 seconds for me like, yeah, we're staying.
Yeah, there's no reason to leave.
Oh, you're in?
Which was a great decision. We didn't leave. I'm
never
so
seen
glad.
one.
Like, we stayed the entire, we saw every single baseball game.
Tip to tail.
With our own two eyes, tip to tail. It was awesome.
Well,
Christian was the one that struggled with the 2 weeks the most because he had to convince a lot of people to allow him to go on the first trip from Thursday to Tuesday. Then he called on Tuesday and was like, I'm actually staying for another week. And that made a lot of people unhappy as he had a lot of moving parts going on back at home, whether it was work, family vacation, moving out of his apartment, all of these things. Everyone was thinking Christian was this stuff. I was like, Christian, just tell him it's a work trip. That's all it is, brother. We're working.
He's working.
We are
walked
doing a
backwards
show.
that one time.
So
It's the hardest he worked.
that was the hardest he worked the entire time.
And
And,
he was-
the Starlink. He did. He was glad to no longer be in the hotel, so he didn't have to go from floor number 2 down to the ground outside to plug in the Starlink.
Once it got hot outside, I did start to feel bad.
Well, I hated him doing it at 6:30 in the morning.
Well, and then he goes, "You didn't ask me nicely enough."
Right,
I was like,
which
I'll
fair
beat
enough.
your fucking ass.
But Seville Jr. took a natty trip for Tingle & Co. to hit a serious stride. Great show today, Phil. I appreciate it. Look, it was
Memories forever.
memories forever, as good of a trip as it could have been. It was very nice seeing credential and the seating chart and everything with this trip and our media. All of that was solely tied to Tingle & Co., which was pretty awesome to see just in a month of being a show and a company.
Yeah.
It was Tingle & Co., man. It's our baby. We're excited to go on this trip with you guys. And
Y'all take care of the baby, too.
it was as reassuring as it could have been. And it was something that, if it wasn't for you guys and Tingle & Co., probably would not have happened.
Tom Grinning.
And Tommy G, man. Shout out to Tommy G. 2 claps. Ready.
Oh, 2 claps. Ready.
Legend, our guy Tommy G. But we appreciate all of you joining us this morning as we are still recovering. Really weren't too prepared for a show this morning. I was thinking about last night.
I was excited to see you.
Should I do a document or should we just roll with it?
Well,
It's just like there's
don't
so
have-
much to talk about.
I don't have a laptop.
That's okay.
I'll figure it out.
We'll be prepared for tomorrow's show.
Well, yeah, now we have to. Well, we got kinfolk.
We will have Kinfolk back. We'll have John Eads come in
We
studio.
have a big bomb
We
for
have a
him.
lot- Don't say that right now. Touchy time. But yeah, I do, and it sucks. I do have a beach trip next week. I will be leaving Tuesday evening. But I'll have the laptop. I'll bring the webcam and the
You
microphone.
can have the Starlink if you
We'll
want.
make this out. I would love to bring the Starlink. Run that thing down the balcony to the beach.
Into the sand.
Into the sand. But
Bring
Paul
Christian
done.
with you.
And now that you got that one done, SEC Media Days, question mark?
Why not?
I would
mean,
love to.
We
I
literally
just-
have nothing stopping us.
No, but I think it'd probably be smart for us to just stay here
No,
for a bit.
no, we figured it out. As long
We
as-
did. We're missing one piece from our planning standpoint that I'm working really hard on bringing this piece back into
this.
the puzzle. It is not that. Dude, I do miss him.
Of course.
Like, he called me last night, and I was like, I'm going to call you back when I leave here because you are funny.
Make me smile.
This poor guy.
Getting nothing done.
Which really, I was feeling bad for him, the work we were making him do. But then I was
But
like,
then every time he left the room, we're like, yeah, he has to do something.
I was like, he's got to do bring something to the table for now. But,
there he is.
God, yeah, he did
If you
have
would
to
have
work
made
some.
$0.00.
Yeah, that you can do this job. Carl Dunn,
Get
but yeah.
your wristband taken away.
God, he finally made it happen. The guy, and this is the funniest story of them all. He gets to the check-in table at one of these outdoor events, and they look at Christian. They said, "Are you 21?" He goes, "Yes." They were like, "What year? What's your birthday?" He says, "2003." And I was like, "Oh my god!"
Oh, the day before that, same person. He goes, "My boss isn't here. Let me know if you're 21, like making it very obvious
Yes.
that like just say you're 21 is exactly what he said. Like, just say you're 21 and you're good. He goes, I'm 19. It's a Christian. God damn
and
it,
the worst
dude.
part about this one was he tells the guy, the guy says, how old,
2003,
he says,
what
how
of it?
old are you? He says 21. Then they're like, when's your birthday? Says 2003. 2003, you would be 22 years old with the birthday Christian said. So the guy said, oh, so you're 22. And Christian was like, yep.
And
The
then
guy still gave him the band.
and then he gets the band taken away as soon as he walks into the bar. The lady goes, let me see your ID. You're not 21.
He goes, I don't have it, but I have my band. She was like, well, how'd you get the band? She was like, oh, the guy just asked me if I was 21. I said, yeah. I was like, Christian.
For being from New Orleans, he is not good at being full of shit.
No, he's terrible at it. He just tells the truth too much. He does, like, he's just... And that's from someone that is a truth teller myself.
Somebody that's not.
He is terrible at lying.
The best was when, and this is a real, like, 2 claps at the end of this, because I spent a lot of time with a lot of people. That much time together for us to never really actually get mad at each other. It's a testament, well, for holding in.
Yes.
Is a testament to, like, we got a good crew.
We do. We have
Like,
a good
there
team.
was never really a moment where you're, like, actually want to fight.
No, never
It was
that.
like, because I've, it's like I want to stay at my buddy's house, like when you're 12, like a
Right.
sleepover, and then it gets to Sunday, like, I don't want to stay here anymore. Like, I want to stay 2 days. Like, actually, I don't. Like, something's going to happen.
Well, no, it's the dynamic between me and my older sister. Like, when we plan vacations, it's very strategic
mean to
plan
her.
where if I know that if me and her spend like 4 or more days together,
Something's gonna happen.
Something's gonna pop off. Like, she's gonna annoy me, I'm gonna annoy her, we're gonna get into it. So I just know 3 days, 4 days, that's the number. Like, anything longer than that, there's going to be an issue. And so I just have that mindset with a lot of people, and the fact that we never got pushed to that extent over our time was awesome. Was very reassuring that we have a good team together. As many opportunities as there were to get aggravated, like the fact that Christian never once popped off on you is a testament to him. Because you pushed him to some brinks that I probably would have
I would
killed
never
you.
do that to
I know
you.
that, and that's smart on your part.
Yeah.
Because, like,
I tested. Got put in my place.
I made sure to do that early on. Make sure you understand.
Quit wiggling.
But the fact that Christian never got pushed to the extent of being pissed off with you is a testament to his patience, because some of the things you were doing to piss him off
He should have told me he's a germaphobe.
were pretty extreme. Like, there was a pizza crust in his pillowcase.
I texted you.
He ended up like napping in my bed the entire week because he was like,
I can't do it.
I can't sleep at night in that bed. It's
He woke
got
up crying.
crumbs, and he did crumbs and pepperonis all in it.
I need to wash my clothes.
But man,
Go wash them.
He couldn't wait to wash those clothes.
And I have his shirt.
Shout out to our team, man. We are a heck of a crew. And
He showed up with not even me. He showed up with a garbage bag full
he
of
did.
clothes.
We had to buy him a suitcase at Walmart.
suitcase?
We went to Walmart and bought him a suitcase so that he can make the trip home. So shout out to Christian, man. Shout out
You
to
can't
Lloyd.
fly with that.
Shout out. No, that's what I told him. I was like, buddy. And he started asking questions. Can I bring this, that? I was like, no. None of the stuff. You have to leave all your soap and toothpaste here. Like, it's all throw it away. Like, you cannot bring that. We can go get you the travel containers for
And I
it.
told him the opposite.
Well, and I know. The other thing is, I don't think he's ever flown
Alone.
without, like, his family.
daddy.
Right. And so, like, he's following me for everything. He was like, how does this work? And I was like, buddy, gosh.
I didn't even have a real ID.
How did that end up working?
Oh, it's great. Actually, highly suggest it. Don't get a one because they don't know what the rules are yet. And so, like, we don't know when the real actual deadline is. But, like, when it happens, you better be careful. It's like, okay. Turns out, they just carried all my luggage for me. It's like, I have to escort you. It's like, take my bag. And he's like, I have to. I was like, oh, this is great. So I got VIP service all the way
There
through,
you
and
go.
that was that. That's all that happened.
That is a testament to your life, Lloyd.
Yeah, thank you.
It really is.
Let me talk.
It's awesome. It's unbelievable. Watching you walk around the field and shake all these hands, and it's just like,
Who's that? I don't know.
it's hilarious. But shout out to our team, man, and all the people, like all of our sponsors.
I'm in a group chat with people, with 15 people I don't know.
I know that. And shout out to our sponsors for making it possible. Like we said, CAS, AJ Sports Card, all about inflatables. Range Fit, you see it right here.
It saved my life.
Wardos and Go Mart, Tommy
Saved
G
my life.
for taking care of us. Like the people that have bought in on this for month number 1 and supported us, all of you guys that have tuned in, the growth of this channel has witnessed over the last month, where it is we set the goal to be at 10,000 before football season. We are at 9,671 subscribers.
300
200 or 330, 329 away.
Good math.
You almost had it.
Well, you confused me.
I know. 329 away from reaching that mark before football season, which is, like we said, 2 months and 4 days away. Cannot wait. Fall camp will be here before we know it. But this month of July,
Kinfolk, get ready.
should be a exciting and wild month of like
A draft.
what are we doing?
We have a draft.
We're gonna make
we have to
all
cut
sorts of content that is just probably gonna be all
from
over
the old
place.
studio.
That video was.
And
recorded
why
in
is
the
it
old
Lloyd
studio.
Cushenberry?
Do what?
And why is it Lloyd Cushenberry? You'll find out.
No one knows this joke until we post this video.
He's got MIA.
Which I don't even know where this video is at. I gotta find it
Oh,
to edit it and put it together. Speaking of editing and putting together, I've not begun the Omaha vlog.
you deserve
video.
the day off.
That will begin probably tonight and tomorrow. I'll get that edited. Hopefully, be put out this
It'll
weekend.
carry us.
Because
How
it
many hours
was
of content do you think it is? Like
A
24
lot.
hours for sure.
a lot.
And teaser, our good partner at Golf Suites.
Yes.
Have another deal in the works.
Yes.
Might be seeing the boys swing some sticks.
How about it?
Lessons with Lloyd. Lessons for Lloyd, actually.
Lessons for Lloyd. Which will make you a pretty good golfer because you're already fairly decent.
Well, there's
I'm a bad golfer.
breaking 100 with Noah.
Brother, it might need to be 200.
You think? You can shoot under 100.
No.
No, but after this,
Hopefully.
you get lessons, which
Yeah,
will
I'm
be
hoping.
documented.
I have never, ever
What's
shot
that?
under 100.
Which like an actual score.
Buddy, I don't know.
You're an athlete, though.
I am. Golf does not have much to do with athleticism.
Watch your mouth.
I'm not trying to diss golf. I'm just saying.
You ever heard of Tiger Woods, buddy?
I can make it past, like in tennis, I'm not that skilled. I can be fairly decent at tennis because
Top
I can
spin, 2K25?
I can run back and forth. I have lateral quickness.
That golf, that doesn't help.
Golf, it does not matter.
For you, maybe, to go find your ball.
Yeah, find my clubs. Like, so I genuinely can't give you an actual score because I skip holes. Like, I'll have a bad shot, so I'll just be like, this one I'm canning because if I keep it up, I'm going to want to leave and I want to finish the course.
This could
And so I'm
be,
stopping.
it's going to be an interesting dynamic to see us on the golf course because I'm exactly the same person that you would imagine where it's all very much positive, but you're going to have to deal with it. Like, that, I am who I am because of the life that I've lived.
Right.
Like, I played catcher.
Yep.
And I've caddied.
Yep.
And I've produced.
Yep.
So I'm very much, we're going to get through it, buddy. We're going to, like, always positive.
Not who I am.
And on the golf course, it'll be interesting to see us.
Oh,
to and
yeah, our
fro.
dynamics because they are.
Because you're going to have to hear it and you're
different.
going to hate it.
I'm gonna kill.
Not
you.
going to let you. I'm going to kill myself. No, we don't talk like that.
I'm gonna kill your cousin.
He wants to golf too.
Can he golf? Is he
No.
good? Oh, nice.
But his dad died and they gave him clubs. He's selling them one by one on Facebook Marketplace. We're piecing it together every year.
How does it always come back to his father? Okay, everything you say about him, it comes back to his dad. But you know what we haven't done in a while is an athletic connection.
What?
I have not done that in a minute.
And the reason we kept it going the way that we did is because I'm very stitious.
Yeah.
As soon as we started it, LSU kept winning, and that's why I wanted to keep it
That's
rolling.
also why I had the mustache.
Oh, it's gone.
It is gone. LSU won. Me and Bear Jones
I
both
get a
shaved our
haircut.
faces. You
I haven't cut my hair
need a
since
haircut.
the beginning of, like, I got
Yeah.
my haircut before the first game of the year. LSU obviously wins.
Yep.
LSU keeps it rolling. Don't need a haircut. Don't need a haircut. LSU keeps winning. It's like, well, now maybe I'm a part of this.
Yep.
Somehow.
That's what I was with the rally stash.
Yeah.
I kept the mustache all through them all. I got home and I was like, it's time to.
Did you shave it yourself?
I did. Yeah, I did. I'm a grown adult man.
Friction.
You're a sicko. You're disgusting. You know that? Let's connect athletically, please, before my fist connects with your face. This poor kid. I would love to hear. I would love to hear from him today.
Call him.
No, I don't know what he's gonna say.
I do.
Yeah, me too. Biggest, please do a Quirtle. Last night I found out there's an Octurtle. No, we're not doing an eight Wordle. Biggest,
go to work.
It's not gonna happen.
An Octurtle.
Shout out to Jay Johnson, the ABCA Coach of the Year, and the best coach in the sport of baseball.
I wonder who.
Hunter Hall, you sent your zoo money to the wrong person. You sent it to Christian. He said, no zoo trip? I demand my zoo money back. That's between you and Christian. You're going to have to give him a call, my friend.
Yeah, Venmo me, Lloyd
Courtney.
The
reason we didn't go to the zoo is because Lloyd did not touch ground that day.
Jared Mitchell asked the best question that I was
That was the best
put
segment
in a corner.
of a show I've ever witnessed in my life.
You were dying, dude. Because you're like, yep, all of this is right.
Because I knew all the answers. No, he never put shoes on. No, he didn't brush his teeth. No, he did not come from underneath the covers.
Sandwich is right here.
Like, that was sickening. It was.
But J. Mitch getting that read immediately was like, you put shoes on?
It was one of the most unbelievable things I've ever witnessed.
He's the
in my
best.
Life. Yeah, the glitch. That was funny.
He's the best. But no, I did not put shoes on. But y'all could have gone to the zoo without me. Y'all did plenty without me.
No, we just went and ate without you.
Yeah, I wasn't hungry.
The zoo was going to be content, and we weren't doing
Oh, I'm zoo content?
Yes.
Don't tap the glass.
You're an animal.
That's right. A
Sick
dog. Meow.
No. Gosh, dog it. Let's connect. All right. God, it has been a while. Almost forgot.
I don't even really know how to play.
So, we've got McEnroe, Sampras, Agassi, and Ash.
Those are all tennis players. Vixens.
Maybe click them.
Agassi, Wiz, Yankee, Phenom.
No.
Oh.
Wrong.
Agassi, Ash.
Yep.
McEnroe.
Yep.
Sampras.
Yep. Submit. Then we've got Wonderkind, Wiz, Sensation, Phenom. Then we've got, let's see,
Yankee City, Barclays,
Yep.
MSG.
Yep. Stanley Cup, forkball, home plate, Super Bowl.
Forkball is the real forkball.
This is, sports terms on the dinner table. Fork, plate, cup, bowl. Shout out.
We are still sharp.
That was quick. It was impressive.
It's nice to connect athletically.
It is. It's been a while.
Since we've docked. Done a document.
Oh, yeah.
What were you thinking?
I didn't know what that meant, and I'd never trust the things that come out of your mouth.
You know what docking is?
I don't want to know. Don't say it.
I'll
Stop.
read it out loud.
No, you won't. We will end the show before you read this out loud. I hate when you have control and power. I've realized that on this trip. I loathe when Lloyd is in control and power. Would never share the
When did it happen?
the Airbnb door code.
I did send it to you.
No, you never sent it to me.
Yes, I did. I sent you
sent me the Wi-Fi code.
Well, that's part of it.
That's not the door code.
I was doing that on purpose.
I know.
Knew it was,
Hated it.
I knew when it was 3058. I knew what it was, and I would look it up unintentionally. And I could feel you staring at me. And I was like, this is so funny.
And then, what else was it? Oh, when we were at the airport and I needed you to come do the rental car.
You were so nice about it.
And you were asleep.
Well, yeah.
Not answering the phone. And I looked at Christian. I said, I cannot stand when he has control.
And then, whenever you're ready, and I took that literally.
Yeah, I know. Like, I'm yelling at Christian about this, and then you finally call back, and I'm like, hey, buddy.
I tried to tell you can't rent a car.
You didn't try to tell me
I
that.
did. I said you have to be 25.
Well, I called the people on the phone. They said 23 was okay.
I tried to tell you.
But then they said I needed a credit card, which my credit card was at home.
I don't have a credit card.
My credit card was in Central, and I was in Omaha, so...
Yeah, there was a real...
Tingle & Co. Fantasy League, probably. We shall do that.
Oh,
be good.
and
What?
NCAA Dynasty.
Yeah. We need to get the Xbox back in. We need to get it. I don't know where
No,
we're
that
gonna
thing
do
got
that.
taxed.
It did.
The funniest thing, well, not the funniest. There's a million funny things,
There were
but
a lot of funny things.
whenever we pulled it out on the RV,
They're like,
"Oh,
we should have been hiding that.
It's like, we should be doing this the whole time. It's like,
We should've
yeah,
been.
but y'all were being real rude for a little bit.
Yeah.
They had to warm up to the
They
Tingle
did.
and Go.
That would no. They had to warm up to the co part of Tingle and Go. Lloyd and Christian.
They knew me.
Yeah. Y'all's dynamic though. You and Christian, y'all are like two kindergartners.
That
in
was
the
the
back of
funniest
that
thing.
bus.
You turned to be like, I don't know if it was day 6 or day 10, but you go, he's starting to turn into you.
He is. No, he is.
It's like I'm one.
There were things that he was doing where I was like, "This is a problem."
It's more fun on
This
this
is a
side of the
problem.
table, buddy.
Oh, Nikki from AJ Sports Cards, y'all coming to the show Saturday. We will be
Yes.
swinging by. We made the announcement earlier in the show during our ad read. We will definitely be spinning by on Saturday. Not sure what time. I'll make sure to
Bring my
contact you and-
appetite.
Yeah, Lloyd will not be eating cards at this.
Fork
We
and
will
knife
let you know
party.
what time we plan on swinging through to the Death Valley Sports Collectibles show at the Crown Plaza Executive Center, 4728 Constitution Ave. So all of our viewers, if you want to see us or these guys or some cool sports cards or live breaks, come join us as we will be at the Death Valley Sports Collectibles show. But shout out to everybody tuning in this morning. As our first show back from Omaha. Man, it was a whirlwind of a 2 weeks. Exciting 2 weeks, a cool 2 weeks, a memorable 2 weeks. Appreciate all of you.
Should I bring this one?
What is that? What's the name?
Coochie. Yasiki.
Appreciate all of you. We will be back tomorrow morning
Ah.
from 7 to 9 with Kinfolk. John Eads joining us. As we are officially back in Baton Rouge, it does feel good to
Kinfolk
be
has
back
some
home.
questions to answer.
He does. He's going to be
Did
put
I,
on the
did
spot.
I show you the text?
I don't think so. Show me off camera, I'm assuming.
No, it's fine. I was in the airport. Okay, yeah, but this is the only time we were separate. He texted me. He probably won't want me to share this, but that's okay. He's like, I have the most outrageous amount of FOMO. He's like, Christian's getting recognized. Like, people are calling his name. It's like,
Yeah.
could have been a big week for Kinfolk. And he goes, I know that. It's like, so can I come over? It's like, yeah, dude, come on. Actually, I haven't responded yet, just to make him sweat a little bit.
Yeah, no, look. Christian is an entity. Like, he is...
Something.
He's a character. Like, it is...
I tried to get a producer. I got a character.
And this is the thing. The reason that Christian gets recognized is solely because of how open he was about his dating life the first couple of months of Tingle & Co. Like, when we officially made the transition, we made a storyline around his
Tingle.
dating life, which came to a crash and burn. I got immediately, which was destined to happen, the fact that the way it was being handled. But in all the time that me and Christian spent together while Lloyd was in bed
Doesn't need a
through the
girlfriend.
trip, I realized
This
how
might have
much
been his fault.
it was his fault that has happened. I love the kid, and he will find love one day.
Not today.
But David Reed says it completely right in the chat. He is content on accident. Like, we wanted him to have a role on this show.
I wanted to
behind-
do less.
Yes, to take weight off of Lloyd's shoulders.
It was more.
And
We just adopted a kid.
we just adopted a child. He has just become a character. Like, I was talking to Eads because
shrink.
the first day in the press box, or like really in the media area, Eads was talking about the dynamics of our show. People were asking, no, where's Lloyd and Christian? Because I obviously was there in the media workroom and in the press box, all these things, like doing the work. They're like, where are your
boots
people
on the
at?
ground.
Yeah, where are your people at? And I was like, Lloyd and Christian are at a tailgate right now. And they're like, oh, wow. I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, at least you're here. I was like, yes, that's the dynamic. And so then they was asking about everybody. I was like, but on our show, and Eads agreed. He was like, everybody has their role and does it well. I was like, that's very true. And he was like, no, you do. And listed all the
of
things. They're like, but like Lloyd has his, like, and this is what I've always told people, because a lot of people
Why?
They do wonder, like, what are you doing? Lloyd has his role. Like, it's not the Tingle show, the Noah Tingle show. It's not Tingle Talks. It's not whatever. It's Tingle and Co. because the Co is important.
Well, that's why I named it Tingle and Co.
Right.
Because it all falls on you.
Yeah, it does. But you have a very important role that a lot of people don't see. You are the, like, personality of the show to a sense. Like, I don't think I'm boring and monotone, but, like, when we are out in public places,
The pulse.
you are like something that I could never be.
Drunk.
And then we have Christian, who is just content.
Something nobody can
like,
be.
just.
One of one.
And so what I've realized, we are still missing like one piece.
Yeah, so you just need help.
Another adult.
Yeah. You're a single parent.
I know.
And I'm 30.
I know. I got that.
You
And
get
I
in the
was,
car, right? I was like, I don't know.
I was voicing a lot of, like, I was talking to a lot of people, like my parents, Katie, a lot of it to Katie, because I'm begging her, please come back.
Come home.
Because I need another adult. So, but this show would not work if it was just me. And like Lloyd, I think a lot of times tries to like make sure I know that, like keeps like letting him know, like, hey, I'm bringing something to the table. And I was like,
Got
buddy,
an RV?
I was like, buddy, I know that. I wouldn't be doing this with you if I didn't know that. Now, do I wish
Yes.
you didn't stress me out half as much as you do?
I see the stress. It's palpable.
Yes, but
I love it.
I know that's a problem. But we have a heck of a team, man. Me, Lloyd, Christian, the rest of our crew, Justin, Sam.
All-time highlight video.
Yes, Mac, like kinfolk. The team that we have, Trevor, Chris, Josiah, Nick, our photo content guys. Like, we have a team. And one of the things we will be setting up soon is just the team having a nice sit-down meal all together, like we used to do back when the family was happy before it all came crashing down over the last couple of years.
It's an easy divorce.
It's a good time.
I pick mom.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a fun first month of Tingle & Co. with all of you guys. Don't forget the Death Valley Sports Collectible shows. Fonz, thank you for letting us know, leaving the hospital seeing Pops. He's doing really good. Long road ahead, but he's doing good. We have been lifting up prayers. Our thoughts have been with you and your family and your father since you've let us know about that today. So it is nice to hear from you, Fonz, and hear that he's doing really good, because it is I can only imagine some of the stress that can come from a situation like that. Thank you. And thank all of you for allowing us to do this and for joining us once again. Another morning of Tingle & Co. with all of you listening to our voices. We will be back tomorrow morning getting the true off-season ready to go as we get ready for August 30th in Clemson, South Carolina for LSU football. Thank you, guys. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Tingle & Co. from 7 to 9. Stop copywriting us, Cordell, please.
I texted him.
I know. He said he's going to talk to us.
You're still alive. Hold on. I'm
okay.
looking for something.
It's all right. Look for it.
I was looking for the Justin video, but I can't find it.
I think it's got music behind it, so we can't play it anyway.
Oh, but I don't care.
I do. Let's not get copyright. Let's not play with fire, please. Appreciate y'all. Have a day. Y'all be good. It was very nice to hear from everybody in Omaha and even last night, shaking hands, shouting out the show, enjoying the show, everything, the number, all of that.
It's
very reassuring. It's awesome that people want to hear us, me, Lloyd, and Christian.
Until next time.
See you tomorrow morning.
It's